The reality is that the honest person, with principles, who decides to do the right thing, ends up becoming a hero and a victim at the same time, because they suffer so many reprisals.
For 20 years, Ana Garrido was a civil servant in a Madrid suburb. In 2007, her bosses began leaning on her to approve irregular city contracts. Ana resisted and told authorities she didn't know at the time that she was battling a nationwide political machine. In the years since, the Gürtel corruption scandal has ensnared dozens of Spain's leaders, and Ana's life has never been the same.
Hola, mi nombre es Ana Garrido y vivo actualmente en Conil de la Frontera, Cádiz, España.
I used to work in the city council of Boadilla del Monte as a technician in the Department of Youth and Childhood. As a technician, you have to outsource and hire service companies. The technician is the one who signs or who guarantees that a company is the best qualified to perform a service. The Gürtel case is a case of corruption in which this businessman had many ties to people in high positions of power. And what he did was offer them contracts that they needed, or did not need. So, for example, events, service contracts to different city councils, or to the community of Madrid. It was very easy to realize that things had changed. And we went from doing our work in an objective and rigorous way to being pressured to make tailor-made specifications. You begin to perceive, at first in a very subtle way, that they are asking you to mold a document in some way to the characteristics that a company or a person already has. What happens? This was happening to me in the youth department, but, of course, when you go out for coffee with your colleagues, you realize that it is something that is happening to everyone. The urban planning technicians, for example, or the treasury technicians. I always say, the official body to which you should report is the Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. But me, what I did to preserve my anonymity, for fear of reprisal, was go to an intermediary party, which was a kind of union that protected civil servants who wanted to report corruption. Then, in this case, my intermediary betrayed me and gave my name to corrupt people and to the media. To begin with, you are harassed where you work, workplace harassment, and you think that when you report it, even if you win, like in my case, right? I won the complaint against the Boadilla City Council, once the mayor had already changed and everything. I won the trial for workplace harassment. But even if you win, you think, well, I'm leaving my job. But what I did not imagine is that it was going to become bigger. They try to control everything that is part of your environment and suffocate you economically at work. Almost all of us have experienced going to a job interview, leaving very happy, saying, "Great, I have already found a job." And the next day they tell you, "No, we are under pressure, and it is going to give us problems to hire you." So then you see yourself with many closed doors. For me, it's like you don't have a social life. First, because you don't trust anyone. Second, because your problems are so big. because people don't talk about death threats or manhunts every day, that you no longer have the same things in common with your old friends. Because being at a barbecue and talking about whether I'm going to buy an umbrella in a certain color, when your problems are that they have threatened to kill you, it's like you no longer fit into that type of social life, right? So in this way, you lose everything, as has happened to me. I have lost my home. I lost my job. I lost my friends. I have had to distance myself from my family, too, out of prudence. I had to leave my country to hide in Costa Rica for 2 years without knowing anyone, without work, until the worst had passed. And then, I think, the most traumatic part was when I could no longer pay for my house. And then I lived for a year in an abandoned house, where I heated my food in the central heating. There were cans, and I bought cans and ate that way, you know? You don't even have the money to catch a bus to go see your lawyer. In those moments, you think, you rethink a lot of things, right? But in my case, there is something that has always been clear for me, that I would do it again. Finally, I think I have found my place. I have just created my own company called Ana Garrido Pro-Ética and Compliance. And it is aimed, above all, at implementing reporting channels at an international level. For those companies that really believe that it is important to have a compliance department and reporting channels to eradicate corruption from their company. And in the end, even though I've worked on other things, I don't know. There's something that calls to me. And it's like saying, I know that my generation won't see it. But I know that when I die, I feel like I'm going to leave a kind of legacy. I don't know. Perhaps for my nephews, for future generations. That's not what I set out to do, and it wasn't my ambition. Far from it. But I think that, in my case, yes, I would do it again. Of course I would do it again. And I am very proud.